Hey guys, it's Mrs. Clancy again. We're back here at the Flip Classroom. Today we're going to explore a little bit more in making predictions using linear regression equations. So before we start, I just want to make sure you guys have a pencil, a calculator, and the packet that says Flip Classroom on top with the Megan and Bryce opened a new store called the Donut Pit on the front. This is what it should look like. So let's just recap and look at Megan and Bryce opened a new donut store called the Donut Pit. Their goal is to reach a profit of $20,000 in their 18th month of business. The table and scatter plot below represent the profit in P and thousands of dollars that they made during the first 12 months. Now, we already discovered that Megan and Bryce would not reach their goal of $20,000 in 18 months. But what I'd love for you to do right now is if this trend continues, I would love for you to estimate and guess when do you think they would be expected to reach their goal? And I want you to write that on your paper at the bottom. Next, I'd like you to click an answer that's closest to your estimation. Now flip over the packet and let's look at the first page. We're going to extrapolate some information. Again, that's calculating data outside the scatter plot. Recall that we calculated the linear regression equation that represents the data for the donut pit. As below, we rounded it to the nearest thousand. Now we're going to use the equation to find how long it will take them to make a $20,000 profit. But if you notice, it says where would we plug the 20 into and why do we change it to 20? So let's just explore those two things right now. If you go back to the graph or just look at this one, you'll notice that profit is labeled in thousands of dollars. So 20,000 is really 20 when you replace it in the equation. Also, profit is labeled on the y-axis. So that means we're going to have to plug it into the y in the equation this time and not the x. So just make sure you note that y is profit and x is time. So now pick up your pen, and now we're going to solve to see if we were close with an estimate as to when they would make $20,000 in profit. So instead of 20, we're going to instead of 20,000, we're going to replace y with 20. So copy that down. Next, we're going to solve for x. In order to do so, we're going to subtract 2.326 from both sides of the equation. Then cross it off. We're going to bring the 0.572x down and the equal sign down. And now we'll use our calculator to figure out what 20 minus 2.326 is. And everybody should get 17.674. Now the next step is solving for x. How do we get rid of the 0.572? We're going to divide by 0.572 on both sides. And we should get, cross it off, put in your calculator, and you should get x equals 30.8986914. So about how many months will it take them to reach a profit of $20,000? We're going to round to the nearest month, which would be 31 months. So now I'm going to have you try the next one guided. The next one says your turn. We want to figure out, using the linear regression equation, after how many months will they reach a profit of $6,000. Now, according to the scatter plot, we know they're going to reach $6,000 at 8 months, but we're going to use the equation to figure this out now. So our first thing is to replace, remember to use 6 for 6,000. We're going to replace the y with 6 because they gave us the profit. So now your next step is going to be replace 6 for y and solve for x. Once you're done, you're going to put the answer, click it on the right to the right. Now we're going to look at task 1. So flip over the packet and let's look at task 1. Again, we've already looked at this question before and we came up with the linear regression equation for it. So we're still going to use the same one we got before. So To save time, we're going to use the regression equation we already calculated in today's class and answer the following questions. It says, write a linear regression equation for this set of data. And we ended up with y equals 17.16x minus 2.48. So now using this equation, we want to predict to the nearest hundredth of a millimeter the diameter of a grain of sand on a beach with a slope of 0.95 degrees. So remember, underline the important information. The diameter of a grain of sand is x. They give us the 0.95, which is our degrees, which is the y. So we're going to have to replace the 0.95 in for y. So now underneath it, rewrite the equation, plug the 0.95 in for y, and now just solve for x. So in order to get the negative 2.48 over, we add 2.48 to both sides, cross it off, and bring down your 17.16x and your equal sign. Now in your calculator, add the two numbers together, 0.95 and 2.48, and you should get 3.43. Now we need to get rid of the 17.16. So we are going to divide by 17.16 on both sides. And we get x equals 0.199883449. And it said to round to the nearest hundredth of a millimeter. So that's the second spot after the decimal. So if you look to the right, it's a 9. That makes the 19 go to a 20. So that would mean that it would be a 0.20 millimeter of sand. So now you guys are going to try a couple on your own. If you go to your turn, you're going to now, using the same equation, predict to the nearest hundredth of a millimeter the diameter of a grain of sand on a beach when the slope is 15.5 degrees. Now you're going to try it for task 2, given the equation that we came up with in class today. And now task 3. Try using the equation we also came up with in class today.